So hey everyone, this is what I wanted to share with you. This is going to be library research made easy. So take a look at this. Once you go to grpl.org, you want to click on research. If you notice here, I've put an arrow to that. So we want to go ahead and click on research. Once we get to research, the next thing you're going to see is this. Now, our options here are business and finance. And if you're looking, of course, for books and literature or anything else, right? Career and test prep, you can go to those sections, right? But let's go ahead and click here, business and finance. Once you get to business and finance, you're going to see some options. It's going to look like this. Okay, in business and finance, you're going to have your databases. You're going to have your demographics now. And if you remember what Steve Assarian was talking about, he was talking about going into your demographics now area, because what you want to do is you want to get some specific information. But if you notice here, there are a lot of other things that you can go into, but try not to go down the rabbit hole. It is very deep. So let's take a look at this. All right, so we got demographics now. If you notice the arrow here, we've got global business, global insights, or business insights global. Of course, we can get information from that. It's just going to look a little differently than what Steve talked about. Now, once we get over to this area here, it's then going to give you some options. If you notice here, we can put in our specific area. We can go enter an address, city, zip code, county, or state. Now, if we want to do the entire USA, that's another option as well. But you want to get as specific as possible so that you can narrow down your research so that it gives you the information that you need. Okay, here's what's next. So if you take a look at what I did here, is I put in Michigan. Now, you can get a little more granular. You can go into it a little bit deeper if you like. What I like to do when I do that is go over to the location options. Let's go ahead and put an arrow by that. Right here. Put that little different color in there. All right. So what I like to do is go ahead and let's do something different. Is take this area here, go ahead and hit the drop down. What you can do then is go to geography list. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a second. But if you can see this arrow here, I should probably color it for you and come up with something different. There we go. So we've got red here. So we're going to hit that list here, right? Hit the drop down. Let's move it over a little bit. Hit the drop down. And then what it's going to do is give you a geography list. Here's what that's going to look like. Now, you go over to geography list, and then you get a chance to type in these words here. Mosaic comparison report. Now, if you remember that from what Steve was talking about, it then gives you a whole bunch of options. Here's the beginning of it here, and we're going to take a look at how it looks right here. Okay, so now we get over here. Now you start seeing some information. If you notice here, we've got a whole bunch of things that we can go into, right? We've got flourishing families. Do you want information on families? We've got the flourishing families. We've got booming with confidence. If you notice, they're trying to be a little funny here, but what that does is just allow you to understand what is going to be under there, some of the demographic information here, and you get a chance to decide on what you want to do next. All right. So if you notice, we've got the numbers, and it gives you some of that information. So you say, hey, that is a good market to look at. And then you have a chance to just go a little bit deeper. All right, so next, once you click into one of these areas here, if you notice what I'm doing here, click into one of those areas, then it takes you to a screen that looks like this. Here's the great thing about when you click in here, it then tells you some key features. All right, let's grab another arrow and go ahead and point to that. Key features. Right? Affluent, highly educated, upscale, it gives you some information. Are these your folks, right? Is this who you want to address? It gives you some other information here. It tells you what technology they use. And this will be a bigger screen that'll kind of show you more information, right? If you notice down here, we chose sophisticated city dwellers, and it gives us some information, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at the other pieces of information that it gives us. Now, once we go here, we then get good information. Look at this. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. All right, so there we go. All right, now, as we take a look at this, we now have family structure, married, single. It gives you an understanding of your market, right? Now, household income. We want to know if they can afford our products. So we want to know what their household income is in the area that we have chosen. Now, you can see here that we're going to go back and forth. We're going to decide, what is it that I'm trying to sell? What is the income that I believe I'm going to need? And that gives you a chance to just dig in a little bit deeper. But let's say, for example, you have an on-the-ground business. You want to build in a specific area. Now, let's take a look at what comes up next. What comes up next is a map, right? You have a chance to just do that same thing. I want Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then you say, well, I want a particular location. So if you notice here across the top, you've got demographics. We've come off of that. And now we've hit maps because we want to visually see. And if you notice here, I says, okay, in my particular case, we have an on-the-ground business as well. So we say we want to be within a certain area. We're going to do a mail out, or we're going to do some marketing or whatever it is. Then you have a chance to say, well, tell me what it looks like around the area that I decide on. That's what you have in this tab, right? So that you can get really, really deep, really, really granular and just dig into it. All right. So let's take a look at something else. Here's something that when I was going in and looking around, I says, well, I don't always have access to Steve, so I want to be able to do this myself, right? If you notice here, they've got great tutorials, right? All the things you want to know. Here it is. Gale Business Demographics. There's an area where you can go and literally get all the information and be taught and be able to rewind and all of that good stuff, right? So here's that information here. Teaches you how to do this. You just click on those areas and then it will take you into the information. All right, so that's what I wanted to show you. I wanted to make sure that we're able to all take a look at this. Now, if you want to go deeper and get into some other demographic information, of course you can. You can go ahead and click here and get really, really deep into it. In this particular case, I wanted to know what was around the on-the-ground business that I have, right? So it's 120 Oaks. I wanted to know what was in that area. If you notice what I put here, 1 mile from this address, you can really get that deep into it and then go into the information. And again, if you want to go even deeper, you can go, and if you notice here within demographics, we can get really into it. Look at this. We can get age by race and sex, American Community Survey, basic variables, business summary, all kinds of good stuff. This is what's all available to you, as Steve was telling you. Now with this video, you should be able to take a look at the areas that you have to click on and then be able to dig into the information that you're trying to get to. I hope this video helps. And if you have any questions, you can go ahead and give me a call and I can dig into it a little bit further. All right, let's talk again soon.